YouTube! My name is Sarah and welcome to the Bookish Knitter. And welcome to your daily category romance. Today we have another Harlequin historical. I found this one on my shelf. I didn't even know I owned it and I squeaked with excitement when I saw it and I'm like, I really want to read this right now. So this is probably going to go on my TBR for July. Even though we're doing like retro romance, this one still might have to go on my TBR for July. And this is The Cowboy Who Caught Her Eye by Laurie Robinson. Laurie Robinson is one of my favorite authors. I love her stuff. She does, one of my favorite historical novels she did was Diary of a War Bride. She writes all kinds of different like time periods. She writes a lot of Westerns. She wrote, of course, that book took, the Diary of a War Bride took place in World War II. She wrote books that take place in the 1920s. She wrote a romance set on the Titanic. She also does not shy away from I don't want to use the term controversial. However, she doesn't shy away from writing books that take place in slightly off-key places that you wouldn't think a romance would be centered, like the Salem Witch Trials. She's the one who wrote the Salem Witch Trial romance, which hands down is still one of my favoritely bonkers books I've ever read. I loved it for what it was, and I thought it was fantastic. But anyway, towards Halloween, maybe I'll talk about that one again. I'll do one of these videos with that book. But anyway, let's talk about this book. So this is Harlequin Historical number 1143, originally published in July of 2013. This is available both as a print book and it's also available as an ebook if you wanted to pick it up and read it that way. So let's read the back of the book. It says, "The shopkeeper's shame. Pregnant and unmarried, Molly Thornston knows her livelihood is under threat. The last thing she needs is a distracting cowboy swaggering into view, especially one who knows she has a secret and still looks at her with desire in his eyes. The cowboy's secret. Carter Buchanan knows all about secrets. It's his job to know. And Molly sure has something to hide. But the fear in her eye touches a place he thought long ago dead, and now this cowboy can't help but consider exchanging his pistol for a band of gold." Sounds delightful. Like, that cover is just stunning. Absolutely. And then, of course, you get like this is just lovely. When does this take place? Let me check and on the inside. This is gorgeous. Author's note. Would we like to read the author's note together? Let's read the author's note together. "The American cowboy came about after the Civil War when a shortage of beef in the northern states gave some entrepreneuring Southerners, mainly Texans, the idea of driving their cattle north. Their plan was to drive them to the closest railroads, Kansas. These cattle drives flourished for about 20 years, 1866 to 1885, and the cowboy was considered to be anyone with guts and a gun. The railroad soon spread across the nation, diminishing the cattle drives, but the cowboy lived on, performing a multitude of duties in winning the West. There is something about those men, rustic, rugged, risky, yet charismatic and downright sexy, that captures women's hearts. They're men we know will be there when needed, whether it's 3 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon. Though he's a Pinkerton man, Pinkerton's the legendary, what were they? The police? Pinkerton? I think so. Carter Buchanan is a cowboy at heart, and he's there for Molly Thornston, whether she wants him to be or not, at 3 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon, it says. I sincerely hope you enjoy meeting and getting to know both Carter and Molly as much as I did." That's delightful. I love it. So this one takes place in Dakota Territory, August of 1884. It says, "To my sister-in-law, Berter, gotta love those cowboys." Delightful. Absolutely delightful. Oh, this is definitely going on the TBR for the month of July. That's the problem with doing these daily categories. It's like, I just want to read every single book that I talk about to you guys. So let's find out a little bit more about Laurie Robinson. Lauri. I can type. There she is. All right. So it says, "With a degree in early childhood education, Laurie has spent 3 decades working in the nonprofit field for Head Start child abuse intervention, the March of Dimes, and United Way. She claims she once upon a time and happily ever after premise of romance novels has always been the form of stress relief. When her husband suggested she write one, she took the challenge and has loved every minute of the journey. That's fantastic." Laurie lives in rural Minnesota, where she and her husband spend every spare moment with their 3 grown sons and their families, which includes 3 granddaughters, 2 step-grandsons, and 2 grand-dogs. She volunteers for several organizations, including her local library, and spends most fall weekends filling the freezer with homemade foodstuffs from the bountiful harvest of her husband's green thumb. She is a diehard Elvis fan. Yes, she's been to Graceland, and loves to spend Sundays watching NASCAR. What's 2 NASCARs in a row? Either live or on TV. However, she says her favorite weekends are spent in the woods of northern Minnesota on the land homesteaded by her great-grandfather. That is delightful. So her first book looks like it was published back in 2005, and her newest release will be coming out, it comes out in March of 2026. So she's got another book coming out in March. And I think it's going to be, it's a historical. But most recently in June, so in this month, she has The Lady Standing Room just came out. And it's one of the first in many, many, many years. It looks like it's a Western. So it's like a Western and a Regency kind of cross. It's like The Lady Standing Room. The Old West and Victorian England collide when Cowboy Jake breaks up Lady Caroline's wedding. There's the cover up there. I may have just purchased this book as well, by the way. Side note. I love her writing. Anyway, that's it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please do subscribe to the channel. And until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.